The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Michigan, Ms. Dingell, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here's a reality. The climate crisis is real, and it's going to impact every aspect of our daily lives. The longer we wait to address this threat, the more expensive and complex it's going to become to mitigate it. So I'm listening to all of my colleagues, and when you just talk about, I'm going totally off script here, but when you talk about how much it costs now, but we got to invest in alternative ways so it eliminates both the cost and the amount of carbon emissions. I'm a car girl. I care about the auto industry. I'm going to talk about the auto industry today. And I'm going to tell you, I'm participating in this hearing as a Democrat from Ann Arbor who did not support the Green New Deal because it was important to bring everybody to the table. And I went through sheer unadulterated hell as I worked to bring everybody together. But as Mr. Higgins knows, I did bring everybody together. And making sure that the auto industry stays competitive and its workforce is protected is an intense priority for me. So that's what I'm going to focus on. But we're already behind other countries, and that's a problem. China is beating us at technology. The last quarter in Europe, the alternative propulsion vehicles beat the sales of internal combustion engines. We are competing in a global marketplace. I want to see American innovation and technology selling in the world and selling here. And that's the reality that we are competing with. It's an economic security issue, it's an energy security issue, and it's a national security issue. And as I have these discussions, there isn't anybody up here that doesn't know, but somebody said the cheapest car is $70,000. The OEMs and the other companies are too, are working as we go into mass production to make those vehicles. When I was with the president at the Detroit Auto Show, Mary Barra, the CEO of GM, showed a vehicle that'll be $20-some thousand, which is what the cost of an ICE is. The other companies are going to bring those costs down as we go into more production. But as we all know, the U.S. transportation sector accounts for roughly 30% of our greenhouse gas emissions. If we are to meet our climate goals, we have to rapidly shift to either electric vehicles or another. I'm not against hydrogen or other powered vehicles, and I say that to everybody when we're talking about it. And as Mr. Higgins knows, we didn't include the OEMs. We brought the environmentalists and the labor unions together to talk about where we needed to go. People consensus that it was doable and we should target 50% sales of vehicles by the year 2030. If you talk to GM and Ford, they're very much competing with each other too. They know that if they're going to compete in an international marketplace, they have to do this because they want to sell their vehicles not only here, but around the world. And China's beating us, and I'm already out of time. Mr. Higgins, I'm going to ask you, if we sit back and do nothing to prepare or support this growing industry, what do we risk? What will our auto industry look 20 years from now if we don't support the EV industry or transition to other vehicles and support our workers through this critical transition?
Thank you for your leadership on these issues, Representative Dingell. And I think that what you were able to contribute to with the Inflation Reduction Act has completely flipped the paradigm for investment in the auto industry. The United States automakers were behind on EVs. China has invested for decades in consolidating manufacturing capacity for advanced technologies, including the batteries and the cars themselves. And the automakers in the United States were not prepared to compete. But with the investments included in the Inflation Reduction Act, it's now possible to invest in everything from the critical minerals to the batteries themselves to the vehicles, and make it so that of the 32 vehicles that are now eligible for the tax credit, the overwhelming majority are produced American brands.